What's up, everybody? It's funny. I'm looking at the commercials that are running on my video, and it's showing empty shelves and emergency food storage. Kind of cool. At least they're hitting the genre, right? All right. So let's say hello to some of you awesome people that have been hanging out here for a bit, and then we'll get into this discussion. A couple things. Advance notice is we're going to go over something real quick in the beginning, and then we're going to go over to this heat situation, forest fire situation. And then I want to go over some of this whole green energy thing with you guys, and I want to show you some facts. Not my facts; these are facts that you can find and show. Like I'm a fan of certain things. I don't mind having a solar generator and stuff like that, but we're going to get into it of what they're shoving down your throat and your thoughts. All right, so let's move into this. Let's say hello to what's up, Jan Penland, Harvey Black, Nate. Good to see you. JT's in the house. Johnny Finance, Caribbean House. Good to see you too. TN Prepping Lady, Harvey Black. I think I probably said Harvey's name already. Valerie H. Who else do we have in here? JRC's in the house. Minuteman 69. 109 degrees there, man. God. Humidity dropped to 16%. That's awesome. I'd rather have that type of humidity than 90% humidity here in Florida. Any day. Any day. What's up? But good to see you, brother. Oki Khan, hello. Let me see. I think I see Little Miss Prepper here. Who else do we got? Trying to make sure I don't miss anybody. I think I got you, Johnny, right? All right, Kathleen. So explosion at the Hoover Dam today. Same old, same old. How is everybody? Yeah, Kathleen. And that's why I want you guys to join the Discord. I broke that story like within just a few minutes as it hit the airways. Before it even hit the news, I had that in my Discord, a video. And then other folks picked up on that and started sharing information. I just can't make a video that fast. But that's why I like the Discord, because we can post stuff there as it's happening pretty much within minutes of it happening. Let me see. Who else do we got to see in the house? You guys are talking it up. Yarn Prepper, I see you there. Coffee First, good to see you. Hope you're feeling good. Van City's in the house. And speaking of folks, I will be on Van City's channel. Then Van City, you can probably tell me better. I know I have it on my calendar. I know it's in the evening on the 27th, which is a Wednesday. I think it might be 10 p.m. my time. I might have that wrong, but Van City you'll see that pop up on her channel or their channels. Making me think as I'm running through this thing here. I'm going to just scroll on down because it was just an on. What's up, Shadow Scout Swede, Pilgrim Prepper, Ghosty, Doctor, Potato Head, Sherry, B Walker, Sharon, Jean's Simple Life, Wink is in the house as well. Jennifer Cruz, Little Alaskan Home Place, Quest, Sherry, Kate, Annie Oakley, Barbara, Dragon. Who else? Angie. I got Kaylin, Stealth Mode, Lady Jacqueline. Let me see. Marty, Lauderdale, RG71. Who else do we got in here? I'm trying to scroll back and go backwards this time. Pegleg Prepper, good to see Emperor's Kimberly Van Roo. I know I got you, Nate. Dale's in the house. Survival Buzz, Flyover. Dobie Farrar, good to see you as well. Morty, Passamaquoddy, and Casey Little Owl. Thank you for joining me, Casey. Casey, I need to give you a ring or something in regards to that email that I just read just before I got on here. What's up, John Jones? Good to see you as well. Linda Bop, Lori D, Marjorie Straka. Hopefully I got that right. If I didn't, I apologize. I think I got everybody. If I didn't get you, I do apologize and miss you. I guess I need to get on with the show, right, folks? All right. So first of all, we got 112 people in chat currently, and we got 53 thumbs up. Folks, we can do better than that, because if you guys don't know, Gray is being somewhat suppressed due to a video that he put out not too long ago. I think it was last Sunday. So I'm on the naughty list. And I think I have that here. I know. Let me bring up my Tuesday night folder for you folks. And where is that download at? I'm going to find it for you while I'm trying to. I know I have it here. I have the folder. I just had it up a few minutes ago. But it's been some interesting things happening here on my own home front. All right, so I'll bring that up because there's a couple things I want you guys to see in regards to what's going on. So this is how I know suppression is real. Matter of fact, if you watched Nutrient Survival's most recent video, they did a video with Jack over at Black Scout Survival, and he said it's literally real. The YouTube representatives told him on the short side his YouTube manager or whatnot, because I guess you get to a certain level, you get a YouTube manager, literally said, yes, your channel is being suppressed. So that's 100% coming from them saying that they do suppress people because of what either what they're saying, their First Amendment rights or whatever. They're suppressing that information. They're suppressing that channel. So your thumbs up, your comments and everything helps. All your sharing truly helps. Anyways, that's the video right here that got me on the naughty list here. You can see how low the views are, even though it to me, it contained great content. Still haven't figured out why. My only figured out why is what happened. A video that I might have showed that might have been too controversial. Anyways, so it's not monetized. It's not nothing, but you have to click through 3 different warnings to get to that video. But the video I want you guys to focus on is right here, prepping for monkeypox or smallpox. This is an important video. This is an important video about an important medication that you can get that's very cheap that you might want to have in your preps. But check out that video if you can. It's to me, it's very important, especially for you, the community. Some of you guys might not be getting notifications. Some of you folks even been telling me that you've been unsubscribed from the channel and didn't even know you were unsubscribed and wondering where Grey was because you weren't getting any notifications. So you got to check your stuff often. It even happens to me as a content creator. There's people I've been following years and years before I even created a YouTube channel, and I'm unsubscribed for some reason. So I have to go and resubscribe and push that bell notification so that I can get their videos because they have important stuff for me, like Adapt 2030 or Suspicious Observers and large channels like that. I appreciate that, Dragon. Thank you so much. You know, some people may not like the way I present things. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is sometimes I might trip over my words. Sometimes I might snicker or laugh just because some of it, the way you read some of these articles, it'll trip you up. And that's just the way it is, man. At least I'm being me. I'm not trying to read from a script and, you know, be all, you know, like a TV channel or something like that. What's up, Julie? Good to see you. Speaking of which, that reminds me of one other thing that I want to mention before I go any further and get into this hot topic. No pun intended. Anyways, folks, if you can see there, this Thursday, coming up this Thursday, join me with Frontier Preppers. I'll be with Billy and D. We're going to be talking about some interesting things. And what I mean by interesting things is a lot of you folks, if you don't know who Frontier Preppers is, basically Billy was born in Cuba. He was raised in Cuba. And Billy and D are both Cuban, but looking from a perspective from someone who was born in a communist country under a communist regime and know what life is like. And he can look at the perspectives of what's happening here in our country and kind of elaborate on top of that. And we're going to talk about some other things as well. Matter of fact, Billy said he got hit on his channel as well. And you can see he's at 4,000, at least 4,100 subscribers. They don't care what size you are, folks. They're going to hit you just because they don't like what you have to say. It's truly horrible. All we're doing is prudent content. It's not like we're spreading hate. It's not like we're doing anything super crazy or advantageous in regards to teaching someone something really bad. We're just sharing information. And to me, if YouTube wanted to do something a little different, maybe give you a little nudge and be like, hey, buddy, this and this seemed a little scary for us in regards to some sort of extremism or whatnot. Can you tone it down? Like a little heads up. But no, they just want to suppress you and call it a day and move on because they have better fish to fry, or, you know, the important channels like gaming channels and all that stuff like that will generate massive amounts of revenue for those folks and focus on that and let them do whatever they want. Agreed. Little Alaskan home place. Great people. All right. So let's get into this heat thing, right? I'm going to make sure I don't have anything else set up. Yeah, right, Fox. I hear you. I hear you. All right, so let's bring up this let's talk about this heat wave, folks. Let's talk about that because that's what we're here for, right? And it's getting crazy because you have to understand heat waves themselves are not just like, what's the word I'm looking for? And I swear to God, folks, they're going to blame this on climate change, but I'm going to show you a little bit different. So I'm going to show you some history that shows you that this is no different than, let's say maybe 100 years ago or less. We're going to look at history, but it is affecting us, and I hope you're prepared for it because with the heat wave comes where it taxes our electricity system. Depending on where you live, you might already be dealing with brownouts, blackouts, massive power bills because fuel's gone up, and the energy crisis has, of course, hit us hard. So you're paying a lot more for energy. So you're running your AC if you have AC, and you're running it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, like I do here in Florida, even in this wintertime. I might get a small break in wintertime, but other than that, the AC stays pretty much on. It's a rarity that we have to turn on our heat. I think I've turned on my heat in this residence maybe twice in 4 years. So that kind of goes to show you the AC is always set at a comfortable number. That being said, make sure you have backup redundancies when it comes to power and stuff like that. Also, before we get into some of these articles, it's also creating havoc on my garden. Some of the plants saying, no way, Grey, I can't do this. The heat is the water's evaporating too much. I don't grow in the ground. I grow in grow bags. They're known to, they're great products and great to grow in because of the maneuverability and what you can do with it. But they also are made so the water drains very well. So I'm having to water them a lot more often. And me being out there in the sun, I've been getting up at 5 a.m. and throwing on my headlamp and going out there and doing all my pruning and stuff like that and harvesting, and then waiting until late in the evening to do any watering, hoping that the rain might come. Sometimes we get these rain showers, these heavy rain showers that might last for a bit here in Florida to help me keep this garden running. You know what I mean? Because I can look out there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and the plants are just like laying over, like, please help us. We can't take this humidity and heat. We don't know what's going on. But that's why I've been doing a lot of research on the aspect of what I can grow in nasty, hot, dry environments. That's a huge thing. That's a huge thing, is learning what you can grow in nasty heat, because maybe next year to be worse, maybe not so much, but it's good to be prepared for that, because anything that's drought tolerant or that can do well in heat, like your okras, your sweet potatoes, and subtropical plants, that might be something you have to look forward to. Like right now, to grow broccoli or lettuce or anything like that is a bust. There's no way you're going to do that unless you have a greenhouse or a controlled environment, which is something I'm going to ponder. Anyways, enough of me rambling on. Let me see. What's up, Butch? Frank? Good to see you, folks. Let me see. Rena LaRue, I just see you popping in there too. B. Walker, good to see you. Pray for peace. Wink, I can imagine it's not getting any prettier out there, right? So let's talk a little bit about this heat wave and what this means around the globe. And then we're going to look at a little bit of history as well. So let's go ahead and throw this up on the screen. A lot of you folks know about the British, the UK, their forest fires. They're probably going to break. I think they said possibly tomorrow, either tonight or today or tomorrow, they're breaking records. And what they mean by breaking records is having heat that they've never, ever experienced before. A lot of you folks may have seen certain instances where they have runways that are melting. And people are like, well, how do runways melt? Well, you got to understand, people do things different. They build things, their infrastructure differently than we do here in the United States. But I know a lot of you folks, if you ever walk out in your garden, if you have any like those stones to walk on, or even some of the weed guard, and you're barefoot, it gets hot. It can burn your feet. So just imagine, that whole heat situation. That's how hot it is in Britain. Anyways, Britain is bracing for its hottest day ever as heat wave sweeps across Europe. It says Britain was bracing for what could be the hottest day ever recorded, folks. Many schools in England plan to close. And this is how bad it is. They are shutting down. They're shutting down their city or their country pretty much. Many schools in England plan to close hospitals, which is insane. They're canceling non-essential procedures, and retirement homes were making preparations to keep their vulnerable residents safe. Basically, if there's an emergency, they'll still see you, but they don't want people to be in and out. Britain has declared a national emergency and has issued its first ever red warning for exceptional heat, meaning there is a potential risk to life with temperatures that could soar to 41 degrees Celsius or about 106 degrees Fahrenheit on Monday and Tuesday. That would be the highest temperature ever recorded in Britain. The current record is 101.6 degrees set in 2019, according to the Met Office, Britain's National Weather Service. People dying, folks. People dying. Let's move over here. People are literally dying. People die every year from heat stroke and stuff like that, from heat-related illnesses, even here in Florida and across the United States. Anyways, as you can read the article here, it says heat wave kills more than 1,100 people in Spain and Portugal. And I'll take a break in between topics so that I can see chat, because when I got this going, I can't really see chat, so my apologies. But I want to get this information out. It says over 1,100 people have died in Spain and Portugal from heat-related causes over the past week as unprecedented heat waves move through Europe. Driving the news, the ongoing heat wave could last a total of several weeks and has been accompanied by wildfires in France, Spain, and Portugal, forcing thousands of people to flee their homes. Down in the Discord, we have all types of videos of some of these crazy apocalyptic wildfires, folks. It's just insane what's going on. And just don't forget the whole drought situation, okay? This is exacerbating certain situations. It's so hot that it's making the fields worse than they already are. And as far as I know, I don't see any rain potential in a lot of different spots that are experiencing heavy drought. Anyways, back to the article. It says severe heat waves are a particular concern in Europe as they can often prove extremely deadly due to the air conditioning being less ubiquitous than the United States. Because here in the United States, we're, I want to say bougie. We have ACs in all of our houses, central air, HVAC. You know what I mean? We have those heating and cooling environments. Here in Florida, houses are made specifically for AC. So if there's ever a true SHTF situation, be it an EMP or a coronal mass ejection or a grid failure or cyber attack, whatever it may be, and there is no electricity, these houses don't have like that where you can open up all the windows and have this nice, beautiful breeze blowing through. They're made to hold AC in, basically that cold air in, and to kind of keep the heat out. So it's a different ball game into the building environment here in Florida. Some people may not be aware of that. Versus some of you folks that live in the mountains and got this whole big, beautiful array of windows that you can open up and get that fresh mountain air in. Here, it's not like that unless you get your house specifically built. But a lot of folks, it's kind of cookie cutter, the way they build houses here in Florida. You have 3 or 4 builders, and they throw their houses up like they're going out of style, and you get what you get. So unless you got the big money that you want to, make some money and get the nice house, custom built. Anyways, a complete death toll likely will not be available for weeks or more due to the difficulty in counting excess deaths in the heat event. So that's crazy, folks. People are dying, and they're probably more dying. Of course, the numbers are always going to be skewed. They're not going to give us the full picture, but you get the gist of it. Anyways, here's what I think I wanted to show up and kind of make that big on the screen so that you guys can see this. I think I got another couple things on this heat thing, and then we'll pause for a second. I'll jump into chat. It says to induce a heat wave at one pole may be regarded as a warning. Heat waves at both poles at once start to look like a climate catastrophe. Since then, weather stations around the world have seen their mercury rising like a global Mexican wave. I don't understand the reference to the Mexican wave. I know what I think, but I'm probably wrong in thinking what I think because I'm always looking at the issues in the southern border, but that's the term they used. A heat wave struck India and Pakistan in March, bringing the highest temperatures in that month since records began. So this is the hottest it's ever been in those areas 122 years ago. Scorching weather has continued across the subcontinent, wreaking disaster for millions. Spring was more like midsummer in the U.S. with soaring temperatures across the country in May. Spain saw the mercury hit 40 degrees Celsius in early June as a heat wave swept across Europe, hitting the UK last week. All right, moving on to this. Here's what I want to do, and this is I'm kind of making it small so you guys get what I'm doing. So I want to me, what is the hottest heat wave in history? Okay, that's what I want to know. I want to know what's the hottest heat wave in history, and what is the hottest temperature in history? Is this something that's just happening now due to global climate change, or is it just part of the Earth doing its thing? You can see the air quotes, right? So let's bring this up so that you can see it. It says, what is the hottest heat wave in history? 1913, in July of 1913, the hottest heat wave ever struck California. During this heat wave, Death Valley recorded a high record temperature of 57 degrees Celsius or 134 degrees. Man, that's hot. At Furnace Creek, which still remains the highest ambient air temperature recorded on the planet, on Earth in itself, back in 1913. So let me ask you a question. You, my viewers, do you think they were pushing climate change? Do you think they were pushing the whole pollution and combustible engine and cow farts and stuff like that back in 1913? No, they weren't. Things have exacerbated to this point. Now we have a much larger population, a lot more cars on the roadway, and a lot more things happening. But the hottest heat wave was back in 1913. So to me, it kind of tears holes in the whole climate situation that they're trying to preach. So let's go forward. What was the worst? Was that the hottest temperature? Okay, my bad. I got them backwards. That was the hottest temperature on the planet. This is the worst heat wave ever. My apologies. Basically, this was in 1936. North American heat wave was one of the most severe heat waves in modern history of North America. In modern history. Just saying. Anyways, it took place in the middle of the Great Depression, which is scary, folks, because look where we're at right now. The Great Recession, some people are calling it, or are we headed for the Great Depression like situation due to our economy and the economic crisis that we're seeing? Anyways, in the Dust Bowl of the 1930s and caused catastrophic human suffering and enormous economic toll. So I think that's it for that. Let me go ahead and pull this down and jump into chat and see what you guys are discussing. Let me see. It's hot. It's hot out. You have to adapt and overcome. Snakebite, agree. You have to learn how to pivot quickly. Right on, Jan. The devil came to Texas this summer. Stay cool, everyone. Roger that, Red October. It's so hot in Arkansas. We built a playpen for our rabbits and brought them inside. They're so happy. I can imagine. I can imagine. Raka, yes, depression, because people don't want to leave their house. If it's that hot out, people probably don't want to do things. People don't want to go out and exercise. People don't want to walk. People don't want to spend time in their gardens. There's a lot of things that is going to push people back into their homes due to the excessive heat. Let's say you have a questionable vehicle, right? And you have to travel, let's say a half hour to work or something like that. And your car breaks down. And, you don't, whatever the reason is, and you're sitting in that hot car, and everybody knows that temperatures inside vehicles can reach extreme temperatures. In this day and age, people aren't nice. People aren't nice like they used to be. Some people may not ever stop and say, hey, do you need help? Hey, do you need this? And I know some people say, well, I got a phone. I'll call somebody. Sure, you can call somebody. How long is it going to take that person to get there? Are they at work? Are you a single person? You know what I mean? Are your kids in school? Just those are the questions I ask myself. So are you prepared for a heat emergency per se in your vehicle outside of just your home? These are the things I think about. Let me see here. It's always hot here in the summer, regardless of what I spend at least 6 hours out in the sun working outside. And Fox, good point about that, Fox. I'm used to the Florida heat. I've been here majority of my life. I've been in Florida heat. Me, I can go out in the woods. I can do hiking. I hike every morning because I'm working on my physical fitness. It's something I'm really focusing on right now, and including what I'm consuming. I'm really trying to fine tune my physical fitness. I'm trying to get fit per se, and at least put myself in a better position for survivability moving down the road, because I have a fear that things are moving faster than I expected. But yes, some people can get used to that heat. But I'm still not complacent with it. In the aspect, I still hydrate the heck out of myself. I learned that in the Army. It's hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. That's all they used to always to preach to us over there in Relax in Jackson in South Carolina. But even in the wintertime, you want to hydrate. You know what I mean? Because you're just exercising, you're pushing yourself. You can think that you're not doing much. You can just be sitting in the garden and doing some pruning and doing some odds and ends. But if it's extremely hot, your body is going to try to offset that, and you can still get into a situation where you might run into heat stroke or some situation alike. You know what I mean? So please be safe out there if those are the things that you're doing. What's up, Rainy Steps? Thanks for the super chat. Hello, Flat Florida. Roger that. Rainy, if you ever come Rainy in Florida, what is it called? God, it's out there by Angry American. He lives out there. I can't think of the name. It starts with a C. It's a little northwest of Orlando. Starts with a C. I can't think of the name. But it's weird. When you go out that section, it's very, very hilly. The hilliest spot I've seen in Florida, which is really weird. Survivor Bus says, looks like I've been swimming every time I feed the animals. Roger that. I even have a pool. My pool water is a not heated pool. I'm not one of those cool folks that have a heated pool. For whatever reason, you need a heated pool in Florida. But the pool, it seems like bath water when I get into the pool. I go in from my garden, and I'm out there for a couple hours from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. And then I just jump in the pool to kind of get that sweat off me and cool myself down a little bit. And then come in and start getting ready for the day. Julius Newman says Winter Park, Clearmont. Thank you, Marty Lardale. Clearmont, Florida. It's quite the intriguing place, folks. If you ever go to Clearmont, Florida, it's extremely boggling how hills it is. Like the hills in Clearmont just don't make sense in Florida. What's up, Ice 124? Gypsy Lizzie says Ocala is a hilly in Florida. And Gypsy, yeah, that's out there as well in that general direction. Ocala's a beautiful place. They have a great equestrian center out there that they built this massive thing. It's made for the rich people, but it's still a very cool thing to go visit. You know what I mean? What's up, Pepper Prepper? Good to see you. In cities, stupid smartphone. Yeah, right. Howie in the hills too. Janine, you're right. That's kind of all in that same area. I drink iced tea all day and pee all day. Right on, Pony Girl. Sometimes I got to watch myself before I read these things. Oh man, that's hilarious. Casey Little Owl says it's not all flat. You know, all those sinkholes. Yeah, right, Casey. Surprisingly, I haven't seen many of those lately because we haven't had the influx of inundation of water as we usually do. What's up, Chief? Good to see you. I walk with an umbrella in this intense heat. B Walker, that's a smart. You want to shade yourself. I use a shamog. I'm assuming you guys know what shamogs are. And the reason I carry a shamog everywhere I go, I have one here, but I have one in my vehicle. And they're great for shading yourself. You can dip it in water and keep yourself cool. You can filter water with it. I mean, shamogs are pretty awesome. I guess I could grab one. Let me move these radios over here. Stuff I'm probably supposed to review I don't know. I get so much stuff in the mail now. I don't know what I'm doing with it. But you guys have probably seen shamogs. You know what I mean? And you can do a lot of different things with shamogs. But, basically you can put these things around you. It keeps you cool. Keep dust out of your face. You can wear it over your head. All kinds of stuff like that. These are very useful little tools. And I like them. Come in handy. I got all different colors and use them for all different types of things. Right on, Hig. All right, where are we at? 134 thumbs up. Not too bad out of 179 viewers. We're doing good, folks. All right, so now I want to change gears a little bit. And just so you guys know that I'm not joking about what they got planned because of what they're going to use this whole thing for. Whoops, what did I do here? Yeah, that's what I want to do. They're going to use the heat to do some nasty stuff. The White House fuels reports of an imminent national emergency declaration on climate change. Corn Pop's administration is pushing to capitalize on another national emergency in order to accumulate unprecedented executive powers. Folks, if you don't know what the president what a president has in executive powers, you might want to read bits and pieces of the Constitution and some of these executive powers that if they can declare a national emergency, what they can do with those executive powers, it's quite scary. I don't want to go into it too much. I've gone into it before, but you might want to look at a president in the United States and their executive powers. They can do a lot of damage. They can do a lot of good, but with this administration, I'm assuming they can do a lot of damage. But anyways, his administration is seeking to declare a national emergency on climate crisis as soon as Wednesday, and which many expect to be accompanied by an unprecedented seizure of executive power. Folks, please pay attention to that. Accompanied by an unprecedented seizure of executive power. Another thing to, I guess, worry ourselves with when it comes to this whole situation. It's scary to think the thought because, we've talked about martial law and how that plays out. You guys have seen martial law if you're from Louisiana and went through Katrina, you know how martial law can affect you as a civilian. Kathleen, I agree 100%. He's done enough damage and he plans on doing a lot more. And remember, folks, we got 2 years. I know a lot of folks are hedging your bets on the primaries. You guys are hedging that there's going to be a red wave. There's going to be an influx of Republicans. They're going to take back the House and some other stuff like that. And maybe they will. But don't put all your eggs in one basket. Basically, what I'm saying is we've seen Republicans in the past. There are certain Republicans that are rhinos. Some of you folks live in states where you have rhino Republicans that don't fit the best interests of we the people. Oh, really? ECAT. It's me, Fluffy. Is it really? Pepper Prepper? It's me, Fluffy. I'm trying to read it. I don't trust either side. Survival Buzz, I can agree with that. There's a few politicians that I can so-called deal with and that I'm happy with. I live in Florida. A lot of people want DeSantis to be a president of the United States. They want him to run in 2024, from what I hear, or be a vice president or whatever the case may be. And DeSantis has done a lot of great things for Florida. There's a couple of questionable things he's done. To me, he's slacking on the aspect of our Second Amendment rights here in Florida. I think that he needs to pass what Anthony Sabatini has proposed, which is our Second Amendment right to constitutional carry. I think he needs to push that forth. But I'm assuming, being it so close to an election situation and all the mass shootings that have happened, he's probably not going to push that agenda just yet. Offlander, I'm trying to see a BBL. Stay safe. God bless. Roger that. I'm trying to get back in the chat. Yarn Prepper, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Believe it or not, folks, some of you folks may wonder why creators ask for thumbs up and ask for comments, because it truly does help. We are constantly against the algo. All we can do is fight against it. All we can do is try to get our information out there. But when we're being suppressed, we're stifled tremendously. I've even seen my subscribers kind of bounce around back and forth from, I guess I hit 17K, which is an accomplishment. Thank you all for helping me out get there. I appreciate that. For all the folks out there that share my content on their social media platforms, I truly appreciate it. And that have been here since the beginning. So we're getting there. But it is a very tough ball game for folks like myself and other channels. That's funny, Empress Kimberly. All right, so let's kind of dive into what they want you to do. They want you to drive electric cars. They want you to use windmills for power. They want to use windmills for powers, and they want to create massive solar farms. Right? Those are some key components that this Green New Deal or green energy or whatever thing that they want to do for climate change. Right? So let's kind of look at that. Geomagnetic storms will affect communication. Roger that. I've seen that in the Discord. Someone had dropped that link in regards to because the sun is in a cycle, and it's very active. It will probably have, as a matter of fact, it's supposed to hit tonight and create some disturbances with GPS and communications and stuff like that. Excuse me. But yes, I do stay aware on. Thank you, Rock. I appreciate that. Empress, you got cigarettes too? I had a normie tell me to start stocking canned goods and TP today. People are waking up. That is good, Lori D. And Julius, you got it too. You guys are hilarious. I don't know. So I got a lot of new. I got a lot of new members out there, and I don't know if as a member you get. I don't know if it's a perk or not, but you get to use specialized emojis that I've created for the channel. Don't ask me why I have all of them, but I'm going to put them up right now so that you can see them. I've created this many so far. I should probably change some of them up, but those are the emojis, if you're a member, that you can use that I've created. I just thought was funny. JT, you guys are hilarious. So let's discuss electronic vehicles real quick, right? And here's the funny thing. When I was doing the research on these electronic vehicles, I call them EV graveyards. I got fact checked. Fact checker says this is false. Fact checker says this is false. It's not a graveyard. No matter how you look at this, folks, electric cars are not the solve-all, end-all to any type of crisis in regards to pollution and whatnot. And some people say it's even worse. So let's take a look at this, right? I'm going to show you guys a picture. I'm going to bring it up. Add it to the stream. There we go. So this is a junkyard full of electric vehicles, right? So you figure electric vehicles, or we're going to talk about their batteries here in a minute. You know what I mean? I'm no expert by any means, right? I'm no expert by any means. But this is a bunch of electric vehicles from a company called Blue Indy. Because if the fact checker said, oh, these pictures are from China. And I said, oh, really? So I decided to research Blue Indy and find out where they're from. Well, they're from Indianapolis. So these are a bunch of electric cars sitting in a junkyard, right? And I just thought it was funny. Funny in the aspect of they're still creating a footprint in the environment. Somebody's like, well, it's not gas, it's not diesel, it doesn't have things leaking out of it. But yes, I'm going to show you what comes in. The batteries, you got to understand that these batteries, if you've ever used lithium batteries or any type of rechargeable battery, you know that you have to dispose of them in a special either in a special container or a special place, because you can't just throw them in the landfill, even though people do, but they have toxic chemicals. So anyways, Blue Indy, again, is from Indianapolis, not China. I mean, the cars might be from China. Who knows? But Blue Indy says they had to shut down a sharing program, basically where you can go jump into a car, you sign up, and you pay some sort of a fee, and you get to drive around an electric car to be cool. It says Blue Indy announced Friday, and this was a while ago. This was back in 2019. Blue Indy announced Friday it will cease operations 4 years after the electric car sharing program arrived in Indianapolis and helped usher in eco-friendly ways to get around the city. Now, some of you folks in Indianapolis may know about this. You guys might even seen it. It says members received the news in a morning email that thanked users and cited financial reasons for the shutdown. An announcement also appeared on the homepage of Blue Indy's website. Go figure. You tell me electric cars didn't work for what you expected it to work for because people wanted to drive their own vehicle. People like using gas or diesel vehicles because they choose to do so. Anyways, moving on. This is another one. And again, the fact checker said this is China. And I'm like, oh, is it? That doesn't look like China to me, folks. Doesn't look like China to me. I'm pretty sure that China does have some sort of graveyards with vehicles in it as well. So I did some research. What are all these electric cars doing there? And supposedly they're taking the batteries out and recycling them and all that other crap. But anyways, maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree. But to me, this is the issue. Anyways, the logo on the car show that they're from Autolib, a fleet of electric cars used in a car sharing scheme in Paris and the surrounding suburbs that was launched in 2011 and had 150,000 active users who could take out the cars when they needed. But in 2018, the Bolaire Group's contract was ended due to financial constraints. Again, another electric ride-sharing platform died, one in the U.S. and one overseas, as well as the persistent issues with cleanliness, problems with parking and booking, and then the competition for other modes of transportation such as Uber. All these factors pushed the service into a red and inavailable to the red and inavailable. Why can't I say that word? Inavailable. Yeah, I'm not going to say it. They failed. They failed, folks. They failed. Anyways, let's talk about the batteries real quick. I'm going to try to make that a little bigger so you guys can see that. These are the batteries in these electric vehicles from Audi, BMW, Hyundai, and the list goes on. It seems like the average is about 8 years. Some folks say, the batteries are warranted. Some folks will say that it's just not worth it. The cost of the battery almost outweighs the cost of the vehicle. So someone says, well, okay, I have a warranty. They're going to replace my battery for free. I said, that's great. That's really cool. What are they going to do with that battery? Oh, well, they're going to recycle it. Are you sure? Do you watch them take it to a recycling plant and do this and do that with it? Maybe they do. I'm just saying, I'm skeptical with everything. So they're trying to compare electric vehicles to, what's the word I'm looking for, to combustible vehicles, to say, well, electric vehicles, will last 10 to 20 years. They'll outlast any combustible engine out there. And I said, have you seen a diesel engine? 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 miles on that diesel engine and it's still kicking? Now, they do make cars these days to fail. That's just because they want your money. Anyways, here's a little clip that I took. Battery life expectancy of these vehicles. Every battery and electric car sold in the U.S. comes with a warranty that lasts for a minimum of 8 years or 100,000 miles. Most of you folks might have a vehicle that has 100,000 miles on it. For example, Kia offers a battery pack warranty for 10 years or 100,000 miles, while Hyundai provides a lifetime coverage for electric car batteries. Anyways, what I pulled from here, it says Volkswagen, Nissan, Tesla, Chevrolet, BMW will cover a battery pack if its capacity drops to a certain percentage, usually 60 to 70%. One major point to remember about cars' expected battery is that heat and lithium ion do not pair well together. So if you live in Florida, if you live in Texas, if you live anywhere that's hot, your battery is probably not going to last as long as it say it's going to last because heat affects that process. And you could typically expect more depletion. So I don't know. I'm going to jump into chat real quick. Remember the rental scooters and bikes in Dallas, other metropolitan areas, all tossed into landfills, not recycled or auctioned. Thank you, Wink. Thank you, Wink. See, I feel like I'm not barking up the wrong tree. My truck has 225,000 miles and is still running great. Thank you, Lori. My energy bill, I used 2.5% less from last year, but the bill jumped way up. Roger that, Snake. Daryl HD, heat and cold. Yeah, I can comprehend that. And the cold, they do last longer. So if you're like in Alaska or maybe northern Wisconsin or some of the colder areas, Michigan, or the Northeast. But the thing is what happens to those batteries? What kind of chemicals are in those batteries? Break those chemicals down and kind of look at those batteries. If those cars sit there for too long before anybody gets around to them because there's a labor issue or a labor shortage, or they don't have people technically inclined to remove those batteries, how long do they sit there in the landfill? Or as they want to call it, an EV graveyard, electric vehicle graveyard. And do they leach into the ground? Right on, Dragon. Thank you. What's up, Dragon? Combustible vehicles also don't unexpectedly explode while just sitting in the driveway and not turned on. Roger that, Dragon. I appreciate that. What's up, Texas T? Howdy, brother. Good to see you. 13 months, man. I appreciate the support. Lithium reacts badly with water. That it does, Minuteman. See, I love the fact that you guys are so informed that that's why we work well together. Julius, that's good to hear. A Stone says batteries in cold climates need a warmer. Roger that. I can agree with that, A Stone, because I know folks out there who do YouTube, and they have issues with their action cams and stuff like that, their phones, when they're out video recording out in cold weather. Empress Kimberly says, "GreyMan, I pray that God exposes all of the deception and corruption." We can only hope so, Kimberly. If we read into the Bible and look at the rapture and stuff like that, there's a lot of information in that Bible. Some folks may not be religious here. I understand that. You're entitled to your own beliefs. Me, I am a Christian, and I do read the Bible. And there's some intriguing things in the Bible that are kind of alluding to what's happening now in our country and across the globe, specifically Iran and Israel and stuff like that. Some scary stuff, folks. So moving on, I wanted to jump on another. I know I'm harping today on green energy, and we started with the heat situation, but I want it because they're going to use the heat wave to push green energy. They're going to use the heat wave, like I just showed you, for Corn Pop to use some sort of executive powers. Who knows where that's going to go? So I want to debunk. I don't want to say debunk, but my own opinion and my own speculation of this clean energy agenda. GRC says our 2000 Ford Escape and F-150 both have 225,000 miles. Can't justify buying replacement. Roger that. Teresa D says very hot. Rain didn't cool it off. Yeah, it sputtered here for a bit. I don't know. JT, did you get any rain? I got just enough rain to water the plants, and that was about it. So let's jump into windmills. Let's jump into windmills, right? I'm on a roll. I'm picking on the green energy stuff, but sometimes it needs attention because they're always shoving you a false narrative down your throat that's saying this is the way of the future. Maybe a couple 100 years from now, the technology will catch up and stuff like that if we're still here. And maybe it will be, but not now. You can't just force it down everybody's throat. There's too much going on. You need petroleum-based products. You need gas. You need diesel. Excuse me. You need these products. It's in a lot of different things, even plastics. I just don't understand when they're preaching this. I don't think the far left understands that when you see someone screaming at the top of their lungs that, get rid of gas, get rid of diesel, get rid of, oil, don't realize that half the stuff that they're wearing, their cell phone, their little iPhone, and their little whatever that they have has petroleum-based products in it. I don't think they get that. Anyways, oh man, I'm having fun tonight, folks. Wind turbine blades. All right, folks. We already know the grease inside the windmills is petroleum based, so they have to have that to run these windmills. Anyways, and they catch fire, and they also get damage from hurricanes and storms and strong winds. Believe it or not, they're supposed to handle that, but they do have failures. Anyways. Wind turbine blades can't be recycled. Can't be recycled. Keyword, can't be recycled. So they're piling up in landfills. Companies are searching for ways to deal with the tens of thousands of blades that have reached the end of their lives. Wind turbine blades can be longer than a Boeing 747 wing. So at the end of the lifespan, they can't just be hauled away. First, you need to saw through the lysome fiberglass using a diamond-encrusted industrial saw that probably runs on electricity that's powered by, I'm not going to go there, but you get what I'm saying, to create 3 pieces small enough to be strapped to a tractor trailer. So these things are massive, folks. The municipal landfill in Casper, Wyoming, is the final resting place of 870 blades whose days making renewable energy have come to an end. The severed fragments look like beach whale bones nestled against one another. I'll show you a picture here in a second. That's the end of it for this winter, said waste technician Michael Bradfold, watching the bulldozer bury them forever in sand. We will get the rest when the weather breaks in the spring. So the other part of this, it says tens of thousands of aging blades are coming down from steel towers around the world, and most have nowhere to go but landfills. And again, they can't be recycled. In the U.S. alone, about 8,000 will be removed each of the next 4 years. Europe, which has been dealing with the problem longer, has about 3,800 coming down annually through at least 2022. According to Bloomberg, it's going to get worse. Most were built more than a decade ago when installations were less than a fifth of what they are now. Anyways, it goes into just talking a little bit about it, but here's some pictures. That's one of the landfills, and you can see the size of that bulldozer there, folks, compared to these blades that have been cut in pieces. And all they're doing is covering it up with dirt and sticking it in a landfill. So there's another picture of it so you can kind of get a size comparison. And then you can see the windmills off in the distance as the bulldozer's burying them. Crazy stuff, folks. Crazy stuff. It's insane to think that they're pushing all this information out, trying to say that, you know, this is the way. This is the way that it needs to go. Matter of fact, I don't know if I covered that one last part. Let me see. I'm going to look here myself. I'm just looking at something real quick. I thought I had an article how they affect the land itself. Yeah, snake bite, right? It's super great for the planet, isn't it? Yeah, B. Walker, exactly. It's powered by fossil fuels. Exactly, B. Walker. Isn't that hilarious? Isn't that hilarious when you look at the big picture, folks? It goes to show you that they're just trying to pull wool over your eyes. They're trying to pull wool over your eyes for whatever reason. For whatever reason, they want to. Matter of fact, after watching that video that Rudy put out, Alaska Prepper, I put that in my community tab. Maybe we know the reasons. Maybe we're on borrowed time. If you haven't seen that video, it was pretty intriguing. I'll give him credit, man. That was a very intriguing video, an eye-opener, you know what I mean? So last thing I want to talk about is solar panels, because that's the other thing. Now, don't get me wrong, folks. I love solar, you know, in the aspect of emergency preparedness, but they're building solar farms. They're taking away farmlands, and man, in certain places like Puerto Rico and other places, they have hundreds and hundreds of acres filled with these solar panels. And solar panels have a shelf life, just like everything else has a shelf life. You know what I mean? Outside of our canned goods. No, I'm wanted to throw that in there. Anyways, my favorite is honey. Honey doesn't have a shelf life. You can have honey that lasts 5,000 years. It'll outlive us. One of those awesome preps. All right, so here we go. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Maybe you guys can see that. There we go. It says lingering legacy, millions of toxic solar panels that can't be recycled, destined for landfills. Again, can't be recycled. The fact checkers will tell you, well, this is not a landfill full of solar panels. No, it's not. This was wind damage. This was a storm that blew through and wrecked these solar panels. But they're done. They're broken. So they have to be moved. And from this article, it says they can't be recycled either. Around the globe, millions upon millions of solar panels have reached their use-by dates, and they can't be recycled, which means they are destined for the local dump. Each panel is a veritable toxic cocktail of gallium, arsenide, tellurium, silver, crystalline silicone, lead, cadmium, and other heavy metals. These are going into the water supply. As the stuff leaches into the water table, it's not difficult to imagine the effect on water supplies, the environment, and the human health. And it's just not, and it's not just filling up landfill with toxic sludge. In the mother of all ironies, while they are above ground, solar panels are sending mercury northward and adding 3 to 4 degrees Celsius, the average temperature of the environment in which they are suited. So solar panels are reflecting mercury northward up into the atmosphere and heating the atmosphere. How ironic, right? Now, I like solar for the aspect of an emergency preparedness situation. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to, buy farmlands and kick little farmers out of the business of growing food and put in solar farms. I just don't think that's right. We have to look at the big picture when it comes to everything. We have to analyze and research everything, folks. Question everything. Here's a picture. There's a picture of some part of the solar panels just sitting there, rotting away. I thought did I have a second one? No, that was weird. I thought I had two of them. I had a picture somewhere else, but anyways, that's where they sit. So again, windmill blades, solar panels, they're saying they can't be recycled. Some folks will tell you that they can, and maybe some folks have found a way to possibly recycle them. But again, the process of them sitting there in the landfills, patiently waiting to be recycled, and that stuff leaches into the ground. So be aware, folks, especially if you live near an area where there's a large landfill full of solar panels. Snake bite, exactly. Great comment. Energy or food, exactly. Food and water. That's what you absolutely have to have that to survive. I know we enjoy AC. I know we enjoy our heaters. I know we enjoy our gas-powered vehicles. We enjoy life in center with all the things there is. But food, without food, you can't live. Things would be extremely hard without fossil fuels and other means of making our lives a little easier to live. But think about history. The Native Americans and other tribes around the world. There's still folks out there in Africa and other places that don't use electricity. All they farm, they create food, they get up every day, provide for their families. That's what they do. That's the old ways. People have gotten complacent and don't understand that these folks don't have air conditioning. They don't even have a fan. You know what I mean? In some of these small tribes in different parts of the world, in these third world countries. But they still survive as long as they have food and water, clean water to be exact. And like I said, folks, you guys know what's going on with the whole food supply. It's going to be catastrophic moving into 2022, the fall of 2022 and moving into 2023 in regards to the food crisis. A lot of people think it's a joke. A lot of people don't believe it's happening because here in America, they go to the grocery store and they see lots of food, especially in the big cities. The big cities get all the good stuff at first because the population is denser, so they have to have more supplies. Versus some of the rural areas where you're going to see a lot more holes because you guys don't get as much. What's up, Farmer Son? Good to see you. I appreciate that, Christopher Alexander. Linda Bopp, I agree. As Rudy said, why can't they leave us the heck alone? And JT, excellent. That's all I always tell everybody, they always say, well, what do you want, Gray? What if you had a choice, what would you want? I said, I just want to be left alone. I just want to be left alone to raise my family the way I choose to do so, and do the things that I enjoy doing. If I want to set up a rain catchment system, I want to do that. If I want to live off grid because I choose to do so, I want to do that. If you guys realize in places like California and other places, you can't have a rain catchment system. You can't just live off grid in certain states. You have to be connected to the grid somehow. If not, you will be fined. I watched a lady a few years back in Orlando who went to jail because she refused to plug into the grid. It's crazy. You're forced by local and regional and federal governments that you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You have to live this way. You have to be on the grid. You have no choice. Now, don't get me wrong. There's places out here in the U.S. that you can choose to do so. Places like Alaska, I'm assuming that you can make those decisions. Places like the, what's it called? Someone made a great, I heard it the other day. It's not, what do they call that? Hold on. Give me a second, folks. It's Afghanistan. They said Appalakistan. It's like the place along the Appalachian Trail. I like the term. Also in the Ozarks, there's spots. There's spots that you can possibly, buy a piece of land and not pay too much for it. And if you want to live in a trailer or a tiny home, or you just want to just live in your car, I guess, or whatever you want to do, or live in a tent. You have the capability to do so, but not, there's so many legislative rules and laws that you can't. Little Alaskan home plays right on. I'm becoming a hermit, not known or seen. I hear you, Snakebite. Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, freedom was the design of America. B. Walker, you're absolutely right. That's what America was built on. Just remember our forefathers and why they gave up so much for the freedoms that we have. And people, it's a shame that people this day and age don't understand our history. They try to call our forefathers racist. They try to say, they burn our flag in the streets. And most of the flags they burn are Chinese-made flags anyways, but it's still the premise of doing it. Some people don't care. People are like, well, they have the right to do this. I'm pretty sure if they've ever had someone in the service or someone who's died for this country, they may feel a little different from my perspective. What's up, Moldy? Good to see you, man. Mark's Adventure. Yeah, Mark, it's extremely hot. Have you guys ever been camping in the summer and you in your tent? It is just so stinking humid or hot that you can't sleep. Or if you've ever been through a hurricane, and if you are one of those folks that before you were a prepper, and you just dealt with sleeping in the heat, no fan, stagnant air, humidity, sweat, it's rough. If you ever look up the optimal temperature for the body to get the absolute best rest there is, it's like in like 65, 67 degrees. That's like the optimal temperature. I can't afford to keep my house that cold, but I would like to, but my wife would not like that. But I'm just one of those, like I said, I say it a lot. You know, I do a lot of research on a lot of different topics because I want to know what works best. Wink, exactly. Isn't that crazy? You can't even harvest rainwater. What kind of crap is that? Alien Prepper, exactly. And thanks for joining us and beaming down and hanging out with us, Alien Prepper. Good to see you, man. Hate your government, not your country. 100%. 100%, brother. Moldy, I agree, man. That's why, let me see, I saw something. I don't miss it, Gray, man. Roger that. That's why you guys haven't seen me do any what's it called, outdoors videos, you know, like where I'm out in the woods and doing stuff. I mean, I go on my hikes. I have a trail that I do every morning after I do the garden and do like that. I have a routine. I'm very routine, set in my ways per se, right? But to do it and to take video equipment out there and stuff like that, it's just too dang hot, folks. It's just too dang hot. So I'm going to take the easy way and do my videos either from back here behind my desk or outside of my garden or, you know, in the general area. Unless it's a nice day out, then of course I'm going to go out. Alien, I didn't see you, AP. I didn't see it, man. I'm rambling on, man. That famous Led Zeppelin song, man. I'm just rambling on. They're not Robert Plant, Jimmy Page. What am I talking about? Yeah, Zeppelin. Oh my God, the colder the better for me. I agree, Don. 100%. I appreciate your Baba reference, though. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just reading through chat. Anyways, folks, let me see. I want to make sure I didn't. Oh, I have one last article that has nothing to do with anything we're talking about. It just has to do. What's up, McBean? It just has to do with the ironic nature of what they've been doing, and now it's coming back to bite them in the behind. And yes, I'm being kid friendly. I had one article here that's kind of funny that I wanted to just touch on. One last article. I thought this was pretty funny. It's not funny, but it is funny. You know what I mean? Because they put themselves in this own predicament. And I swear to God that I know I've said this in the past, that by them doing what they were doing with this whole situation, they were going to create this huge crisis moving down the road. Anyways, prime example says exclusive. Hospital faces staff shortages due to Charlie Victor infections despite Victor mandate. The first hospital in America to mandate Charlie Victor's for all employees is now facing a staffing shortage from infections. Houston Methodist Hospital has hundreds of employees out of work because they tested positive for Charlie Victor. At the same time, hospital in 2021, 153 staff members who refused to get the Victor quit or were fired. Now Methodist leadership is trying to avert a crisis. What is worrisome is the climbing number of our employees who cannot work because they are homesick with the Charlie Victor. Almost 400 employees tested positive last week, Dr. Robert Phillips said, the executive vice president and chief physician executive of Houston Methodist. wrote in an internal email on July 12th, obtained by the Epoch Times. So we're seeing this in the hospitals. We're seeing this in the hospitals. Roger that, South Florida. We're seeing this in the hospitals, but you're also seeing what I've talked about. Is you see what they're doing. I talked a bit, I think, about this on the Sunday shift report on Sunday. What they're doing to our military if they don't get this. You're seeing what they're doing to a lot of people in business and manufacturing if they don't get this. Our nurses, our doctors, people on the front lines, if they don't get this, they have no job. Some of you folks have even dealt with this personally. Pretty crazy. As we see, the crisis is starting to get worse. The crisis is starting to get worse. ECAT, you saw that coming? I'm telling you, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. I wish things would get better. God, I wish things would get better. Linda Bopp, exactly. What's up, Deacon? I just saw you in there too. But remember, folks, I will be live this Thursday night with Frontier Preppers. It's going to be quite the intriguing conversation. If you haven't met Billy and Dee yet, please join us. I know it's a little late. If you can't watch, maybe put it in the background as you fall asleep. But I truly appreciate the support for those folks and myself on Thursday night. Basically, it's late night with Grey. I had a good time with Michelle last Thursday, and tonight this Thursday we're gonna have Billy and Dee. You won't have to listen to me ramble on. You can listen to Billy ramble on. Roger that, Allison. I seen that, but I think it might be only temporary because the judge overturned something, and then all of a sudden the next judge in a different courts will switch it back. It's a constant evolving situation. Good in the woods. Good to see you, and you're absolutely right. What's up, busy girl? I want to make sure if I didn't have anything else. That is it, folks. It's an hour. It is 8 o'clock. Time to go spend time with the family and stuff. But thank you all for being here and hanging out with Grey and the Grey community. I truly appreciate that. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please do so. And don't forget, again, join me Thursday night. I think I might have a video coming out depending if the weather holds. I'll be dropping something. I think it's a review video. Mods, you guys are amazing and wonderful folks. Like I said, you're truly an integral part of this community. I appreciate everything you do. And if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please do so. Other than that, folks, remember, you are not alone. You have myself in the Grey community. Please don't always feel free to, what's the word I'm looking for? To reach out. If you have any issues, problems, reach out to me in Discord. Reach out to me via email. I'll try to answer those as best as I can. Discord is faster. And some of my other social media platforms like Instagram, you can also get a hold of me a little bit faster because I get those notifications. Thank you. Again, God bless. I'll see you in the rebound. This is GreyMan, and I'm out.